So all those protocols were happening all the time. They were baptizing people, and actually in the early church, when they were persecuting Christians, what happened was the moment you were said you were Christian, you are born again, fine, powerful. The next question they ask you, and you can check all the antiquities of church history, the moment they ask you, are you baptized? Your persecution is different. It means the moment you are baptized, you've taken your Christianity. I believe that the moment into a new fraternity. So paternity is fatherhood, fraternity, frater, and pater. So pater is for fathers, fraternity is for brothers. The moment you were washed, that's why he says something very powerful. He says, you were washed. Ye were washed in the washing, the baptism in 1 Corinthians 1. Ye were washed, ye were sanctified. All those things that happened was actually a separation. It was a separation. So you need to understand what was going on. And by that baptism, one baptism, they were brought into a new family, a confraternity. And that's what we call the brotherhood, a oneness. One Lord. Number two, aside it having a family implication, now the times of the writings of the apostles were very interesting. At this time, Rome was influenced at the onset of the Grecian civilization, because remember, the onset of the Grecian civilization, Rome had picked up their Latin translations, and at this time, they had indulged in what we call the classical Hellenistic Greek. Okay, and this was a kind of philosophical introduction that was brought into play by a certain general called Alexander the Great. Now, this Alexander the Great didn't just colonize the world, he tried to re-educate the world with his own interpretations of words, his own introduction of words, and all that. So just as today, the Queen seems to be responsible for the inclusion of words to the Oxford Dictionary, so it was in the days of the ancient Grecian civilization. So certain words were adapted by reason of aristocratic powers even into their dictionary. And at this time, there was a man called Alexander the Great, and he introduced the word Adelphos differently. It first meant, of course, two individuals born from the same womb, brothers who are linked from the same womb. But interestingly, it also meant something remarkable. And he had soldiers he fought with. Of course, at 18, he had conquered the Eastern empires and the then world. Very powerful general. No military general as compared to Alexander the Great. So powerful, finest soldier in history. So powerful. But something happened. There was a day in Alexander's time of existence, where he celebrated his soldiers. And on that day, he chose the best of the best, the people who fought strongly by his side, the people who, helped him win battles of all sorts. And there was a podium that was put there. And what Alexander did was, anytime at that celebration, he called those specific soldiers out who were valiant in battle and put them on the podium in front of all the soldiers in front of Athens at the time. And when he did that, what he did was he puts his hand around your shoulder and he declares, Adelphos Alexander. That means the brother of Alexander. And it was a high honor for the soldiers. And the moment he used it in that regard, it was now retranslated as fellow soldier. Fellow soldier. So